different about the recruiting right now than a year ago?
I mean, a lot of things. Staff's different. Got some different guys on the field. Obviously, personnel department's changed a lot, and our group there is doing a great job. That massive structure behind you right there, is actually kind of real now, and so people come out here and you see. I just think there's a lot of momentum in every area, kind of like I've been saying, and I think you're seeing the results of that. And I think too we got a 26 class that it's a really good class across the country, but especially in Southern California, especially in LA. It's a tremendous class, and it's a lot of guys that not only are their individual futures important to them, like doing it here in LA, doing it at USC, understanding that opportunity, like these guys, they see that and they see it collectively, and it's a pretty cool thing to watch unfold.
What's the biggest thing you're doing this spring compared to last spring that even this early in week one you're seeing the dividends paying off?
That's a good question. I would still say the depth on the line of scrimmage that we've worked obviously to recruit, develop, train. You just feel that a little bit more kind of each and every year. There's more good players, there's more depth, there's more competition, there's more size. That's probably the biggest thing that I can point to right now. It's a good group. Practices have been really competitive like we would expect up to this point. There's not really new systems being implemented like there were obviously defensively last year, so you feel a little bit of difference there in terms that we're a little further ahead than certainly the beginning of last spring.
Xavier Jordan was a big recruit for you guys a couple of cycles ago. Where does he stand, and kind of what do you want to see from him this spring?
Yeah, he battled some injuries last year. Had some growing up to do, but he's it feels like he's starting to come out of that a little bit. He's made some plays. He's a very athletic, explosive kid that no question can help our football team on both offense and special teams. He's got to continue to grow up, continue to be consistent, but all the tools are there. So he's off to a good start. He's made some plays for us early on in spring, and he's just got to keep growing. But, with our depth right now at receiver, it's a great opportunity for him.
Swim with Mike is coming up this week. What's the impact that you've seen from that event?
Very important. Obviously, near and dear to our program with obviously Jake Olson and then Alex Ruiz, who was my student manager when we came here. Both guys have been recipients. So to see it, hit home for those guys, and those are two guys that are really important to the program. Obviously Jake has become such a big ambassador for SC football. It's just incredible for anybody that's around him. And Alex has been tremendous as well and has got a really bright future. So, appreciate the work that they've done for so many and especially our two guys here.
For at least a little bit, so Jakeem break out for the defensive tackles. Have you figured out where he fits best yet?
No, we're working him at both. He even his first padded practice took snaps both interior and on the edge, and he gives you some of that flexibility because the size is there to be able to play some inside. And we wondered a little bit about that, just given the fact that he should be, a junior in high school right now, and but you throw him inside and he really hasn't had much problem. And on the edge, he's got the athleticism to certainly impact it there as well. So like a lot of these, new guys, we're kind of trying to figure out where he best fits, and spring's a great time to get some work, and he's done a good job mentally learning and trying to progress himself to where he can get in there and rep at multiple positions, which isn't easy to do for a true freshman.
Who's impressed you? 2 padded practices in the spring. The dreaded question.
Yeah, the dreaded question. Some of Floyd, Bucard, Jakeem's done a nice job. I think some of our young DBs are showing up and making some plays. JJ, Castro, Steve, Alex Graham. Some of those guys have really done a nice job in terms of the young guys. I think the young offensive linemen certainly have a chance, and then. I think the tight ends have done a nice job up to this point. The depth and talent and competitiveness and just now some experience. That to me for the first time feels like a real tight end room. And not that the other ones were. We had a lot of really good players and we've had some good contributions, but there's a depth and talent in there that we have not had since we've been at USC. So been excited about their progress as well.
Yesterday, Chad Bowden said he was really looking for today's practice, second day in a row with kids in pads. Did you get the energy and the effort level you were looking for?
We did. We challenged them, and we talked to the team about that. Like, it's only going to happen if it's important to them. We can sit there and say whatever as coaches. I mean, they've got to make it important to them to come out here today and match or exceed the intensity and all that we had on Saturday, because Saturday was a great practice, and they did. They were intense. We actually had to break them up a couple of times, which I don't mind doing that. It's good to see. It's good to see them kind of pushing the issue. So, 2 practices in, we've handled the intensity level well. Now we just got to keep on.
What have you seen from Wayman Jordan so far?
He's an impressive guy. He's smooth. He makes a lot of things look pretty easy. He's kind of one of those guys. When you watched him in junior college, that it almost doesn't look like he's trying that hard. Obviously he is, but it kind of has an effortless quality to him. And he's done a good job coming in and learning our stuff. Both he and Eli are really have a real professional mindset. They came in here for a reason, and they're both, you could tell, very far along in terms of the number of months that they've been with us.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Eli and Wayman. When we got to practice, we got to see them practicing a little bit of kick returns.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this early, are you kind of just looking at what different guys can kind of bring to that facet of the game, or someone like Eli with his explosiveness, can you see using him moving forward?
We definitely can see using him. I mean, there's no question. He's one of the best guys that we have in terms of the ball in his hands and having the ability to create explosive plays. The guy he catches the ball very well. He, Wayman, and a handful of other guys, we're gonna toy around with this spring and see what fits. But yeah, certainly not hard to imagine Eli having a big role there.
What are your early thoughts on Dunn and Payne at tackle, the 2 youngest?
Yeah, Dunn's very, very athletic, kind of like we thought. We thought he was one of the more athletic guys that we signed, and you could see that right away. We've tried to work him a little bit both positions. Payne's done a nice job coming in and learning our stuff as well. I mean, he's a strong kid. He came out of a really good program. Been pleased with what we've seen. It's a battle right now against our defensive line, but those guys have not backed down. They're going to continue to clean up stuff as we go, but they're both off to a good start.